Welcome, bonjour to another edition of TMI Thursdays with your co-host, me, James Howard, and...
Adriana, good evening, everyone. I was trying to do a little bit of a boogie there, and I was like trying to sign you, leave the music on.
It's there.
I want to dance.
Can't deny it. Are you in a boogieing mood?
I think I'm starting to feel, well, you're festive. Look at your jumper, and I'm mint.
You know... Yeah, Christmas jumper time and all that, you know.
Well, I had my Christmas jumper on. I have one Christmas jumper, and I had it on Wednesday or yesterday for our AGM, and I need to wash it, and it's a Lidl on-brand Christmas jumper.
So it's... I've seen these. Right.
It's cute.
So, okay, nothing wrong with it, but it is very Lidl branded.
No, not that one.
That's not the yellow and blue one that is literally an advert.
No.
Okay, describe it to me and the viewers.
It's a white jumper.
Okay. I haven't seen that one.
It's a white jumper, and it's not even like the fluffy one you have. Just a plain. Well, actually, someone called it a pajama top, but it's a jumper.
Oh, so it's like a jersey kind
of.
As opposed to a woolen.
And it has little gingerbread men on it and.
Sounds very nice.
Canes, and it's simple.
Candy canes. Sounds lovely. And you've not worn it yet?
No, I had it on yesterday.
Oh, sorry, you had it on yesterday at work?
Yeah.
Oh, so
we had a Christmas jumper day at work.
So did I. Yes.
There you go.
Yes. Did you get looks going in? No, of course you didn't, because you drove.
I drove in. So
I didn't. For me. Well, I drove to the train station, but then got the train. And I just know, like, it was early morning, right? Yeah. And I just noticed that, well, I didn't notice. It was early morning. Like, I leave quite early, like 6:45 to get the train into Belfast. And I was quite grumpy. You know, I didn't want to be up. It was early, heading out. So, no, I'm not normally a Scrooge. I'm just like, keep myself to myself. Yeah. It's a bit early kind of guy. And I noticed that a lot of people were smiling at me. And I'm like, why? What's smiling? No one ever smiles at me. Don't be happy. And then it dawned on me. Oh, yeah. I've got I'm the dude with the Christmas jumper on. However, it still confused me because, like, it's quite common now. You see people, everyone has a Christmas jumper day at work, right? Yeah. And you see people in their Christmas jumper and you know, like, it's your designated Christmas jumper day. But no, I still got smiles and like, half a laugh. And I had to try and be, you know, approachable and nice and smile back. But no, I found it difficult because it was very early.
I was super excited to get into work because I have been so ill since last week. I spent the whole weekend in bed with the lurgy that's going on. I am sure everybody has it.
There's a lot going around.
I know. Everybody's sick and splattering and not well and super flu and it's all over the news. And so I was home. But it was so funny. I saw something today on BBC News but it was on their Instagram page. It was so funny. So NI Water did research, did a little bit of gathering of samples and checking the water quality.
From where?
From different areas all over Northern Ireland.
Oh, like from the homes and stuff?
Well, sewage water and sewage water and all of that, right? So what they discovered is that people, specifically they pointed out 2 areas in Northern Ireland, Belfast and the Lough Erne, where people are taking so much cocaine that it's showing up in the sewage water.
You're joking. It's like measurable.
There's measurable cocaine levels
in just the water.
In the water.
In the water system.
In the water system, in the sewage water.
Wow, that is bonkers. I mean, I do know that, like, certainly where money is concerned, you can find traces. Well, this was true in London and probably in England. I don't know about Northern Ireland, but hearing about the water.
2 areas. Yeah, it was Belfast and they specifically said they find it very interesting that it was the Lough Erne area.
Yeah, it's quite an affluent area, Lough Erne, right? And I guess, is it party town?
Probably a holiday.
Party town. Yeah, people go there. Lough Erne is this beautiful place where there's like this huge lake system that's part of, it's the northern part of the Shannon River system that comes through Ireland, but it's beautiful there. It's like, it's Fermanagh, County Fermanagh, which is like absolutely
It's like the Lake
gorgeous.
District.
It is like the Lake District. Thank you.
The Northern Irish
It's
version
the
of
Northern Irish version of the Lake
District.
District.
Yes.
And it's pucker, and you got really nice hotels, and you got holiday lodges, and you got lots of fun to be had there. But people go there, get married, and there's all sorts that's going on, isn't there? And Enniskillen is quite a cool town to go out in. You get hen parties and all that kind of jazz, don't you? So I guess it kind of lends itself. But no, what I was going to say is that in London, certainly, and obviously the same here now, that like there wasn't a note, like a piece of my £20 note, £5 note in circulation that didn't have traces of cocaine on it.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it had been up someone's nose. That £20 note in your back pocket has been up someone's nose.
Yuck.
Or at least close to it. Anyway, there you go.
I'm glad we don't really use cash that much anymore.
Yeah, well, we are largely cashless, aren't we? Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is, I suppose, has its advantages and disadvantages.
It's interesting though, yeah, because there's still some people who, or some places that I go to that they're still cash only.
Interesting. So, like, I think some people are really passionate about flying that cash flag, and listen, I'm a supporter. I've got to say, I love it, because once that's gone, if spending is purely a digital thing in the future, that has potential significant things that could be a problem for us, whether we're just, overthinking it or not, I don't know. But I mean, cash is the ability to hand something over that has a value as a trade sense.
Yeah.
But digital currencies are manipulable. I understand it. And some businesses have to pay a percentage, depending on how big your business is. But if you have to pay as a merchant a percentage of what you take, then you're losing revenue as a business.
And if revenue,
and if that doesn't happen with cash, then you can understand that really. Then the net is tightening in on these small businesses. They need all the help they can get, I think.
I think my grandma's still stashing cash.
Under the mattress, like old school styling.
No, I think it's in between the tiles. Like she got like tea towels or something.
Where though?
In a kitchen cupboard somewhere.
Oh, I see. Right. Are we talking life savings cash?
No.
Or like,
but still,
day-to-day cash, or
day-to-day cash, but like a larger amount. Like the green ones, like the green ones are the €100 that you don't really see.
Right, so we're talking in euros here, people. And if you're not familiar,
the green ones you barely see.
Is the bad boy.
Yeah, you only see the orange ones and the blues and the reds, which are the 10s and the 20s and the 50s, but you rarely see a green one. Interesting.
I've got a story about that.
Yeah.
I'm going to save it for another episode now, but I've got a story about $100 bill rather than a euro. But I'll save that for another episode.
Save that for another one. But you've been spending cash, have you?
Oh, it's Christmas.
You've been doing a bit of shopping?
Oh, mate. So this brings me quite nicely to my...
Ooh. What is it?
Awkward moment of the week. So, right.
You love your little voice pops.
Oh,
you find some great voice pops.
Munch too. It's like,
I know.
I created it. I want to use it. It's there. It's a little jingle.
You're very good at that.
What's a jingle if you can't use it at Christmas? Oof. We should have had a dudum. Where's that jingle? Anyway, so yeah.
awkward moment. What's been happening?
Awkward moment, right. So I've had a real benefit recently. I've had a real win. And that win has culminated in me when I have my kids on the weekend, I take them to school on a Monday. So I pick them up on a Friday and then I take them to school on a Monday morning, which means I've got them from school to school. Now, what used to happen was a bag used to get packed with like overnight clothes and things like that, just so that, the kids had what they needed when they were at dad's from Friday till Sunday afternoon, early evening. But that all changed with the Monday morning drop-off. So the message was, listen, no problem, but can you please get some clothes because, like, I'm not going to pack a bag overnight. I'm like, of course, no problem. We'll get that sorted out. That'd be fun. So this was the first weekend where this was the new dynamic. And I thought to myself, okay, listen, over time, we can get them some really nice stuff, get them what they like, order it online, really consider it, that kind of stuff, no problem. I thought for now, I just got to load them up because they're in school clothes and they've got nothing. So I thought, what shall I do? And I was like, I know, I'll go to the local green supermarket, which I could probably name because we named another one earlier.
Did we?
Yeah, we did, but don't worry. My local green supermarket that has a famous clothes brand that might begin with Jo and end in something like Orge. So I thought, yeah, why not? I'll go there with the kids because we have to go and get some food for the weekend anyway and stock up. And I like for them to choose what they're going to sort of eat for breakfast and dinner and all that sort of stuff over the weekend. So I thought, make a real trip of it. So we're bouncing down to this green supermarket to do a food shop and do some clothes shopping, so that we can get it all sorted out.
Ooh, I love a bit of clothes shopping.
So you won't know this particular Asda, but I guess there's probably similarities to the layout. So I come through the main doors.
Yep.
Go through the what you call it, the barrier bit, the security bit,
the floppy
floppy automatic door swings.
Whack you in the tummy if you're not fast enough.
That's it, and it's left to food, right? Or it's right to clothes.
Yes.
And there's a whole big clothes section there. So I always turn left. I'm always a lefty. But this time I'm like, no, we're going right. So I went right with the kids, went into the clothes section, looking up and down. I didn't really know my place, didn't know where I was. It's all kind of new to me. So I'm looking like, okay, right, adult clothes. First of all, I noticed how much of the clothes is dedicated to women. Oh my God, like 3/4.
Yep.
But there was a small section for kids.
Yeah.
And then I think there was like a gondola end for men. Anyway, so we get to the kids section. I'm like, right, we got to get some clothes, guys, all right? So we're in amongst the girl stuff at this point. And I'm right, let's start choosing items. So I'm having a look round, looking at different styles, different things. I'm thinking at least 3 outfits, top, bottom and all that. And then after that, get the underwear and the socks and all that sort of jazz. So we're getting set up. And then Michael goes, all right, Dad, I'm going to go off and choose some stuff. Is that all right? I'm like, of course it is, son, no problem. So off he pops, right? Michael, who is now 9, love you, Michael, 9 years old, pops off and comes back. I'm not kidding. He came back within about 3 minutes and he had about 6 outfits. 6 outfits.
Wow.
All very samey, which is cool, but he liked all of them. They were all in the right size. I was like, okay, you like this? You like that? He went, yeah, I like that, like that. I was, you sure you like this? No, I really like that. Okay, no problem. Okay. So I hung it over the side of the shopping trolley. And that's
efficient.
That was Michael done. Wow. Mike went off, did it, come back, popped it all in. Well, Maria. Yeah, Maria, who is 6 turning 7, hasn't chose her first outfit yet. I don't like it, Daddy. What don't you like? No, I just don't like it. Okay, fair enough. Let's keep looking. So we keep looking. And we keep looking. And then she finds this one small thing. Oh, I like that. Okay, then brilliant. Let's get that. Small win. We found something. Brilliant. Let's get that.
What was it?
Well, it was just this top. Mm-hmm. And here's the thing. I hung it over Michael's was on one side of the shopping trolley and she was going to have the other. So I hung it over the side. She went, oh no, I have to try it on. I was like, really? Yeah. I'm like, but it's just for lounging around at Dad's house. It looks lovely. It looks great. No, Daddy, I got to try it on. I was like, all right then, try it on here then. So she did. Took her coat off, flung that on the floor, coat off, put it on, way too tight for her. Darling, that's a bit tight. It's a bit small. I like it. Okay then, all right, we'll get it. No problem. She went, oh no. I need to see it in a mirror. I'm like, but it looks great, I promise you. Here, let me take a photo. I took a photo.
Oh my God, this is amazing.
She went, no, it's got to be in a mirror, Daddy. I was like, all right, I don't know where there is a mirror. She went, I'll find one.
Love it.
Ran off. I'm standing there. It's been 5 minutes.
Right.
Maria, where are you? Don't know where she is at this point. Michael's like, Maria, she always does this, Dad. I was like, really? Oh my God. So anyways, I'm looking around and there's a few mums now that are aware there's this dad and son standing in the daughter's aisle and the daughter's off somewhere else trying to find a mirror to look at herself, which is totally fine, right? And as she eventually comes back, do you like it? No. Oh, so you don't want it? No, I don't want that one. All right, we'll put it back then. Let's find something you do like. Do you like that? No. Do you like this? No. Right, you're getting the gist now, aren't you? This went on and on and on for such a long time that eventually we found a top
Right.
that was looked on in a mirror. I still don't know where the mirror is in that Asda store, but she went off somewhere for 5 minutes and came back comfortable that she'd seen it in a mirror somewhere. And then it came to finding some bottoms. Had to try them on. There's no fitting room. I'm standing in an aisle next to clothes. She has to try them on and has to see it in a mirror before she can commit to something. So the shoes come off. The trousers didn't come off, but she's then putting trousers over trousers on the floor like she's doing snow angels. Gets them on. I need to look in the mirror. Runs off. Another 5 minutes. I kid you not. It was an event. And I saw repeat parents coming in. And I got the look of, oh, yeah, this is, I feel for you. I'm glad it's not me, but I've been there. You know that look. So anyways, this must have taken, and I am not kidding, this took, all told, about an hour and a half. After an hour and a half, she had 3 tops, 3 bottoms that she was happy with. One of the tops was way too small for her, but she liked it, so she bought it. Not to wear, but as I might wear it, Daddy. And it's important that I have it as like a spare that's there to have. So anyways, I'm very happy to get her all this stuff. And in the end, she was delighted and happy. So we got these 2 piles of clothes, and there was so much clothes there that we decided that we would delay the food shopping. We would actually go through the till, pay for the clothes, drop them off in the motor, then come back and then do the food shopping afterwards.
Wise.
Michael and I were like unbelievable. We just couldn't believe it. And like, what is that? What is it about girls that like?
Excuse me.
You okay?
I know you're trying to choke me there.
Yeah. What is it about girls and buying clothes and like the ritual? Because I mean, listen, I got frustrated. I managed it. She got her way, but what's going on?
Listen, it's a perfect question, and but for me to relay a little bit of information, what the difference between a guy and a girl, or a male and a female shopping is.
Yeah.
You gentlemen.
Yes.
Are single-handedly the best species for mission-driven single focus.
Mission-driven single focus people. I like that.
You have given Michael a mission.
I gave him a purpose.
A purpose, a mission with clear...
Yep.
Now.
You got to like it. It's got to fit.
Has to be your size, whatever. Yeah. And he just went and done it. Yeah.
That's exactly what he did.
If you would have told him, maybe given him an extra layer of information saying it needs to be one themed, he maybe would have taken longer, but there was no theme that you need one for Sunday church, you need one for Friday cinema, and you need one for,
yeah,
multi-purpose, whatever.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But for women, women have this thing called diffuse awareness, right?
Diffuse awareness.
Meaning we can never focus even if we're trying to focus on one thing, we will be sidetracked.
Right.
Million ways on the way to that one thing.
So you are this like orb of awareness
Yep.
that is like,
And we have to do that,
multi-linked.
As women, when you have children and you're looking after people, or, you have multiple kids, and there's women out there who have multiple kids off below the age of 2 or something, and one crawls here, the other one climbs there.
Yeah.
So you need a diffuse awareness.
Okay.
It's built into
that.
our DNA, yeah?
That makes sense, like, in the home, and it makes sense in, like, the village. Like, to be aware of what's going on, any dangers around, or like, that whole nurture, safety, totally get it. But why in a supermarket when you're buying like clothes?
Yeah, but that's the whole thing of the evolutionary DNA that's built into us. And we talked a little bit about that, I think, was it last week?
Tribal brain theory. We covered that at length.
But we talked about, the whole, there is no tiger to attack you in Tesco.
That's correct.
But there was the clothes fairy attacking Maria.
The clothes fairy. That dangerous mofo. Right.
And she was trying to pick something, but she was pulled by multiple directions and colours and glitter and
choices.
And choices.
And thinking where she'd wear it, what she'd look like, how it would fit, what it looked like on. And there's all these variables.
Exactly, because she's trying to be prepared for everything.
Right.
She may be not just going to church on a Sunday, but she may be, meeting a celebrity 2 days later, or be in an emergency, or, meeting the love of her life.
Yeah.
But, you never know what situation you're going to be in.
Right. Is that why one of the outfits was a spare? I don't really like it. I'm not buying it for now. I'm buying it because I think I'll end up liking it.
Exactly.
Right, yeah. Interesting.
That eventually, I think, as we get older, kind of dies off, and then you just buy items that complement you.
Right.
And fit you. And the way I now shop, I had I'll buy this and I'll maybe lose weight into it. That was the toxic habit I had for years. Oh,
even I can understand that. This is my wardrobe, but that's my when I lose weight wardrobe.
Yep.
Yeah.
But see now, whenever I try something on, and I go, would I wear this every day? And if the answer is yes, I'll buy it. If the answer is no, maybe, then no, not interested.
Okay.
Goes back.
And what's the importance of seeing it on? Is that like validation that it looks right?
It's the confidence piece, and we're going to delve into those differences. It's a fabulous follow-up, from our awkward moment when we get to that. But we'll look at that, that's the confidence piece,
Yeah.
It's sometimes to have a bit of self-confidence, we need to first start with confidence, meaning I need to put an item on that looks good on me.
Right.
Which then will...
So I'm buying into the outfit emotionally.
Because
I'm
which will
seeing
then make me confident, and it'll build my self-confidence.
Validated, yes. Right.
Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense.
There you go. I hope it makes sense to everybody else.
It does.
That's just how I kind of see the world and what I know.
Well, I've learnt something new every day, so I can be less frustrated now. And I guess understand that Maria needs to tick multiple boxes and needs and requirements and emotions to make a considered decision.
So what you can do maybe next time, before you stop somewhere in that area,
yes,
you will park your trolley next time at the mirror.
When I find it. So
mostly in the women's section area.
I get it. So
the kids can do the mileage.
I absolutely love that. And do you know what? So there's a few takeouts here. One, I'll find the mirror and then I'll station myself with the mirror. And hopefully there's some form of seatage so I can park myself for
no seatage.
There won't be, but I can slouch over the trolley. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to have a word with Asda and say, please get a fitting room, because like girls need to try it on. So if you don't want them getting undressed in the aisle,
maybe disabled toilet. I think they would, which they should. People shouldn't, but I think they are.
But they lock it. They do. This special key job in it. So that's the second one, because it is such a large closed section.
Yeah.
That I think it is befitting of a fitting room. So that's the second thing I'm going to do. And the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to plan it into my diary so that I've got an hour and a half so that I'm not frustrated with it taking so long. Yeah, I've learned something today. Brilliant.
Wonderful.
Nice one. So that takes us on quite nicely because you said it was linking in. Are you ready for the next bit?
Yes, bring it on.
Take a beat. Everybody just take a beat.
Oh, Jerry.
Ledge.
So it's very interesting for this week. Sometimes what we do, we just have a chit chat, a couple of days before. What are you covering and what are you covering? But this week we didn't. And we just thought, let's just go risky.
Rogue.
Go rogue. And I didn't know. I knew that James was going to cover the awkward moment of the week. And I was covering Take a Beat. But we did not know what we were covering. And it's super interesting that what I'm covering is hoping will kind of sink in what you opened up with, the differences between the male and the female kind of thinking and and how we see the world and how we function. But for that, I think you also asked me about the frog farming piece.
What is that?
So, as you can see on our thumbnail, it says kids shopping fails and frog farmers, and what has the two in common. And so I have been recently exposed to a person through a podcast, a wonderful lady in her 60s in America called Alison Armstrong, who has spent the past 30 years coaching and researching and observing and teaching and talking to men and women, and specifically about relationships and teaching men about women and teaching women about men. And she has multiple books, and I am currently I've read 2 books, and I'm reading one and I'm listening to another. So I have 4 of her books, which completely blew my mind when it comes to men and women. And I had this inclination for a while now, and we talked about dating previously. A couple of weeks ago we talked about dating, and we talked about, the struggles women and men currently facing in the dating world and generally in relationships. And there's a little bit of like a misunderstanding between the two kind of parts of the community.
Okay.
And
like one not understanding the other?
One not on, yeah, and there's
them and us.
I feel like there's a little bit of a them and us again, that tribal thing going on, and then there's a fly literally just
I've been ignoring it for 30 minutes. I am waiting for it to land on the camera lens.
Literally was on my forehead.
Honestly, I am waiting for it to land on
my forehead anyway. I probably will. So if I'm doing that, that's the fly. This is the magic of going live. We're completely live. There's no editing. There's just whatever's going on in the studio. It's going on in the studio.
Random.
So anyway, back to frog farmers. So one of her books tells a story of a woman really struggling with dating, and saying that she always meets these wonderful men, and they're all wonderful at the beginning, and all men are wonderful, and for some reason something changes. What happens to men when they go from so-called princes to frogs?
Okay.
Not frogs to princes.
Right. I love that.
So this woman went to this workshop, and the trainer called out. She said, I have a question, and she described her difficulties with men, and she says, I meet all these wonderful men, but eventually they change and they turn into, the way it's said in the book, sort of kind of like a beer belching, sport loving couch surfers, yeah? Beer belching, sport loving couch surfers, she called them. And couch surfer, and then the trainer, the person who's delivering the seminar, says, "Well, because you are a frog farmer." Oh, and she was like, "You what?"
Okay,
yes, you are a frog farmer. You turn princes into frogs,
right?
And she was like, "What do you mean?" Well, you just said when you meet these men, they are all princes,
right?
And somewhere in the process, they turn into frogs.
Right, but it's not all on the man.
So interesting, both sides. There's interesting kind of, and I love these books from Alison Armstrong, because she really delves into this whole frog farming and why do men change and why women change and what's going on. And each book, she's got a book called Making Sense of Men. She's got a book called Navigating Women. She's got a book called...
Is that a bigger book?
Which one? Navigating Women?
Yeah.
I think they're both pamphlets. Or maybe the men's ones. Actually, no. Do you know what? The Queen's. It was interesting because the first book.
The man's one is a postage
No,
stamp.
the first one I read was the Queen's Code, and the Queen's Code was very much about men, how men function, and how. Very interesting. She talks about the difference between and what. So, women emasculate men.
Yes.
And men objectify women.
Okay.
And something, and then she talks about the whole frog farming. When men changes, when women change. Women always think it's the man is changing.
I see.
But it's the woman's changing. It all changes when...
So there's change on both sides.
Both sides, when the woman is being caught.
Right.
And that's... and it's interesting. So she kind of explains, and you read in the book, and you have to do lots of exercises. And I have been thinking about this, because I have been seeing, and I talk to my friends, and I have some wonderful women in my group, and I have some wonderful men in my group. And when I talk to them about dating and relationships, they really struggle, and I struggle, and we all struggle, and you had your struggles with relationships, specifically when it comes to understanding each other.
Yes.
And what Alison talks about in her books is that we will forever continue to struggle in relationships because we continue to project our realities onto the other gender.
Okay.
So, as women, we look at men as misbehaved, hairy women. And the men look at us as emotional, misbehaved men. Do you know, like...
Right.
We want to see you, and we assume that you think like we think, and you assume that we think like you think.
Yeah, and we can't we don't. We forget, choose not to stop seeing the world from your eyes. Listen, I get that. I mean, just to start chipping in here, I remember many years ago, like my dad, he said, you should read the book Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus.
I read that book.
Really famous book, well known, been out for many years. And it does help describe, first and foremost, that we're different and we think different and we have different value systems and we have different ways of coming to decisions, and we even have different ways of point scoring. And it was very, not to expand too much into it because it's massive and it's broad, but it did open my eye to some fundamental differences between men and women. And like men, by and large, do think logically. And I think I'm not speaking out of turn here when I say that women speak emotionally. They in the moment, their emotion and their feelings are the one of the key factors in making decisions or acting in the moment, however that is. And we often observe that. So from the man's perspective, when we observe a woman responding with emotion and feeling, we don't get it because we're thinking logically, like, why are you responding like that? That's just a bit weird. I don't understand it. It ain't that bad. The outfit looks fine. Just buy it. So it's very, very interesting. But I must admit, when I read that book, the girl I was going out with at the time, I did put it into practice. And I did notice a difference. I noticed that I guess she felt more nourished and more catered for and more understood, and there was less friction, and I went through a really good period. But like most men, it just faded. And I sort of stopped doing it. And I came back into my default mode of just thinking logically and judging logically and forgetting what was going on over there and not appreciating it and not considering it and not behaving in it as a response to it.
I think what we're currently facing, there are some like, the problem is at the moment with relationships, with dating, that everybody with coaching and all these relationship coaches and everything, we are trying to address the symptoms, but we're not addressing the root cause.
Okay. Yeah.
So for me, the symptoms are, everybody's so, we're using things like, oh, you're trauma bonding or trauma this, trauma that, and you're this type, you're anxious or avoidant attachment styles, and we're kind of just trying to label everything and trying to throw a quick fix at everything. It's like with dieting, you know, it's dating, for me, it's very similar. You have all these coaches and you've got all the fitness instructors, and they're all trying to treat the symptoms, but not one fitness trainer would ask you, well, what happened to you as a child, you know, or what's going on in your life. You're not looking after yourself, or, you know, like, and it's same for coaching when it comes to dating. You know, nobody's kind of asking questions, you know, and why are you the way you are, or what happened to you, or what are kind of like, what's the journey that got you to a point? That's one. Plus, we're not looking at the root cause, is the misunderstanding between men and women, and the evolutionary kind of DNA programming that we have. Nobody's talking about that how wonderful men are and how wonderful women are, their own ways. We're trying to be something that we're not, and then what we're seeing then, men are competing with women, for example. They're feeling emasculated, so they go into a competition with a woman. Yeah. For example, at the moment, what I'm seeing more is men anticipate women with suspicion.
Okay. Suspicion how?
Suspicion instead of trust. Yeah. She's going to lose it. She's going to be a bunny boiler, or she's going to be this, she's going to be that. These horrendous labels. Because they kind of act, and they're and another one is men are relating to women from fear. Since the whole Me Too movement, which was important. Yes, we needed to, excuse me, call out things. And we needed to call out the predators. But we kept pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing to a point that men are now relating to us women from a point of fear with suspicion. So they don't want to kind of...
Do you mean like being accused?
Being accused, so, you know, if someone gives you a look. And it's also this...
I understand.
You
so
know,
like the wolf whistle is now like, I'm not saying it's acceptable, but like way back when men used to outwardly like demonstrate they're attracted... if they're attracted to a woman by being quite obvious and sometimes brash about it, and then that is now like not cool.
But a woman will make a decision based on whether she fancies the person or not. Yeah? Because she can receive the same behaviour from two men, but if she fancies one and she doesn't the other, one she will label as, you know, inappropriate behaviour, and the other one she'll...
And that's an emotional reaction.
Flatter, you know.
That's a feeling. That's responding to a feeling. So that's in keeping.
But that's just in emasculates men.
Yeah, well, it does, yeah. So like you probably find that men maybe don't open the door for you as much as they used to, perhaps, in case you're one of the women that would choose to be offended by that now.
Not. Do you know what? And I'm going through such a difficult period at the moment because I'm learning all of this information. Somewhere deep down in my stomach and in my intuition told me this years ago, and I felt that something was not working, and the way, you know, men were treated. And I'm of an era that I went through a period of my life when from every corner of your life, and I still have that, still see that. And caveat, I may get judged for this, what I'm going to say, but I am done with the whole boss babe era. I'm done with the independent woman, and you can have it all, and you can do it all on your own.
You've got a friend on that, and I'm
done with the independent female era.
What happens, right? And it's called the pendulum effect. Are you familiar with it?
Tell me.
So the pendulum effect is when one thing is too extreme one way.
Yeah.
In order for the pendulum to settle in the middle, it swings the other way before it settles back in the middle, and then it kind of does this rocking motion. It's called the pendulum effect, and it's it's just one of them kind of laws that you kind of see in nature. It gets like repeated. And I think what we've seen is that pendulum swing. It's gone from male chauvinistic disrespect to women and, women wanting equality and respect, right? And quite rightly so, by the way. And we've swung right the other way till actually, I think the disrespect went the other way. In many, not in every instance, but in a lot of instances. And I think it does need to settle. And I think it does need to come somewhere in the middle.
More so, I think it started in the 1950s. Do you remember that musical? What was it called? Annie something, where she sings, "Anything you can do, I can do better."
Yes.
And I think that's where somewhere was the start of that whole female narrative and the start of emasculation of men.
Yeah.
When they're starting to lose their kind of the role of leaders, providers, protectors, carers, and all of that.
I think you're right. I think now we live in modern society is very different now. Way back when, and we covered it a little bit last week, so I won't go over old ground, but there were defined roles, and there were roles that suited men in the most part perfectly to have a single purpose, coming back to the shopping, right?
Single purpose.
Where they had a real value, and what they did was really important to the survival of the group.
Yeah.
And the females then had the awareness to keep everyone sort of happy and safe and secure and do tasks at the same time. And you had that that multi-awareness that we described earlier.
The diffusion awareness.
Thank you, diffusion awareness. And it worked perfectly. And I guess we are still wired that way. But modern society is, not in every instance, but sitting behind a computer. But a woman can do it just as well as a man.
Yeah.
So women and men both go to work. I think it started to change when you mentioned the 50s, and I think you're probably right. The 60s was a really it was a watershed decade, wasn't it? Where we broke the traditional norms of the old world and then sort of started to venture into the new world and sexualism and sex started to sell, didn't it?
Yeah, and then the pill, was launched. Women had the pill and everything changed. And but it's not I'm not. The reason why I'm sharing that because I find and I talk to my girlfriends and I talk to my male friends, and I can look at my history of relationships, and if you have thrown everything at it, even the kitchen sink, and it's not working.
Yeah.
So now you're starting to go, okay, what are some alternative ways of seeing this issue that everybody's facing?
Yeah.
And for some people, this may be an extreme to go back to the way we were by evolution. That's a
very interesting.
But I'm willing to take, and I started.
So you're in the minority.
Yeah. I am, and I'm probably will ruffle some feathers with this, with the whole equality.
How interesting.
And the whole, I've never seen so many, female bosses and independent women, but are we actually happy?
Well, let me come in here. So I had a conversation. I'm not going to name names.
No,
I had
name names.
No, of course not. No. But I had a conversation the other day with a woman who I deeply respect, and she literally said, "Women don't need men anymore." And I was like, "That's just not true." She's like, "No, I can pleasure myself. I can go to work. I can pay my bills. What do you do?" And I was like, "Wow, I don't even want to answer that because that's dangerous. If you don't think you want men, then you're gonna switch men off. Why do you think so many men are happy single now, and so many men aren't interested in dating, and so many men are just avoiding it? It's because there is some toxicity to that, and it ain't cool. And men, and just to come from the male angle here, men need certain things. This might come as a shock to you, but men don't need love. and this, I know it sounds really counterintuitive, but men don't need love. The number one value that men need in a relationship, can you guess it? There's one that comes above everything else. It's numero uno, and it nourishes us more than anything.
Being able to provide?
Respect.
Respect.
It's respect. Men, we spoke earlier about the purpose, right? We need a purpose, and we're quite basic. I mean, we are basic when it comes to women. Let's be honest about it. But we are very single purposed, and we are all about doing something that is incredibly important, that is valued and gets respect, and that is a purpose for a man. So when you're in a relationship and you're probably being single focused and you're probably lacking awareness of the woman and all that, and you're lacking respect, men find themselves just completely marooned and just don't know how to be. And you know what happens to men when that happens in a relationship?
Tell me.
They shrink.
Well, this is what it's interesting. Alison Armstrong calls it. She's so interesting what she's doing. When you read the books and when you go through her programs, she's actually inviting women to publicly make a promise that they will stop castrating men and emasculating men.
I think it's a really important message. I really do. Listen, I know that women can go to work and earn just as much as men and more, and I want that. You know, no one doesn't want that. But
and I really am excited. I can't wait to have more of these conversations with my girlfriends, and I've been sending them. They probably hate me right now. Girls, don't hate me. Probably sending them messages. Read this book and read the Queen's Code and read this and read that, and just keep an open mind, because it is difficult to say men need more specifically what we have been, through the past couple of years. And here's me saying, you need to respect your man. You need to try and understand your man. You need to understand the language, because I learned in these books that there's specific language that actually not just, I'm going to say turn men on, but in a form of that the language turns them on to be protectors, providers, and leaders, and all of that, and treat women a nice way. But for that, you have to kind of both sides, we have to meet each other, and we have to start treating each other with respect and trying to learn each other and what language to use and how we function.
Yeah, and that comes with communication, right? So you got to share that. So if men need more respect, and I mean authentic respect, within the relationship for the purpose that they deliver, what do women need to feel like completely valued?
I think,
what's at the top of your value system?
Safety. Simple as it is. Women need to feel safe.
And what? That's such a good answer.
That's multi-layered, obviously.
Of course. And if I may respond with another question, what does safety in this modern world look like?
Safety to walk after 6 p.m. on my own and on a street, or
right.
Safety in a relationship, again, safety to be myself, safety for me to express my emotions a healthy way. I'm gonna say a healthy way. Yeah. Of course. Safety, safety to like, again, then again, I need to be mindful here. Safety to wear what I want, but to what extent?
I understand.
Yeah. So nothing is black and white. And this is what another thing where we keep going wrong. We think,
I know the truth.
That we keep having these. At the end of the day, we always have these arguments, and we don't argue whether we agree or disagree, but we argue about definitions. Yeah. 90% of the time, two people argue about the definition of a word. That's why I say nothing ever is black and white. It's multicolored and multi-layered.
Shades of grey.
Exactly. It's a million shades of grey in between the sheets and in between the lines of men and women. But it's just if we were to try and understand each other a little bit more, perhaps we would have better relationships.
I couldn't agree more. Do you know what I found really interesting in your response there? you didn't mention paying the bills as something that you considered as a safety, which I found really refreshing, because I think that's a lot of what's behind the view from women. I can pay my bills, therefore I'm safe. But you mentioned things that weren't that. They were very different things. And absolutely you need safety in those
Safety to have a
circumstances.
drink and a bar on my own.
Yeah.
Safety to go out for a cycle on my own.
Safety to look pretty.
Safe to look pretty. Safe to speak my mind a healthy way or express my emotions.
Yeah.
Safe to be safe in the gym. We talked about that last week.
We did.
You know, all of that. You know, and after that, it's about, I think men are wonderful. I think men have it in their DNA. I truly believe and have faith that all of our men, and again, I'm lucky, I'm surrounded by wonderful men. Then again, I believe your vibe attracts your tribe. So I have wonderful men.
Frequencies, baby. I'm going to cover them in a minute.
Wonderful men in my life. And I believe that they're wonderful providers and protectors and leaders. And that's all they want to do if we give them the respect and the love and the affection they deserve.
So are we saying that's a prince?
Send that to print?
That's a prince.
What is it?
A prince.
A prince. Yes.
A prince
so
is a man.
you can turn frogs into princes, by the way.
You can.
Yeah. It's not
I
just
agree.
princes to frogs.
That's so interesting. Because I completely agree with you, and it's not an easy subject to talk about that.
No,
because a lot of women feel very passionate because they've had years of suppression and inequality. So it's a difficult one to go, oh, we've gone, the pendulum swung a bit too far.
But how is it
ladies.
working? But how is it working out for us?
Yeah.
Realistically.
True. Well, it's gone from one extreme to another, and the truth is it needs to settle somewhere in the middle.
We need to find middle ground.
Couldn't agree more. What a great subject. Thank you for that.
There's so much more. Check out Alison Armstrong and all these topics. If you want to talk to me, I cannot wait. I feel like I need to kind of keep this conversation going and bring some women together, you know, maybe even for a book club with some red wine. Talk about the Queen's Code and talk about men and women and all that, but all in a healthy, positive way.
Yeah.
That will make a difference to us all.
Yeah, we can stand outside and keep you safe.
Yes. Yes.
Get respected, serve a purpose. Love it.
Wonderful.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for that. Okay.
Amazing.
Right.
Thanks.
So that brings us on.
Thanks for holding the space, you know, for me to dig into this topic, because I was a little bit nervous about that. So.
Don't be nervous. I think that was great. And you know what? This won't be the only time we're going to talk about
I know. I felt
a
little bit nervous about it, but yeah, I've just been in the depth of this topic for years and months, and very, very deep in the last couple of weeks. And I'm seeing the difference it makes, you know, because this is not just about relationships, but starting to make a difference how I relate to all men. Colleagues, friends, family members, potential partners, and all of that. It just, you can if you read the books, ladies, and start implementing the teaching, you will definitely see difference in your life.
Perfect. Right.
I'm done.
And that brings us on to...
Oh, what are we doing? What's next?
Take a beat.
No,
not that.
We already took a beat.
I did actually. It is.
What is it? Something. What are you covering this week? Something new?
Well, I have got something new, but we also need a small win of the week. Have we got time for a small win of the week?
No, we're going to skip small, I think.
Okay.
I think what I covered, I feel like the take the beat was just a win for me because I was so nervous about it.
Yeah, that's not a small win. That's a big win.
That's a big win.
So we'll take that.
Yeah, we'll take that.
And congratulations. That was a top subject. Well done, mate.
Thank you very much.
So
it's all yours.
Thank you so much. I'm going to take the floor, people. I feel very respected. I'm going to close out the show now and offer something new. This is a very big topic, and I'm only going to lightly touch on it, but it is so super interesting. People say, what's the key to the universe?
Ooh.
right?
Moly, talk about
I'm
my appetite.
mate. I'm just going to cover like a tiny little corner of it here, just so that you can get you something new this week. But my belief, and science is very much coming round to this. My belief is that the key to the universe is frequency.
Yeah.
Right. We vibrate. Things vibrate.
Correct.
There are frequencies. There are low frequencies. There are high frequencies. There are negative frequencies. There are positive frequencies. I think I am, therefore I am, is a saying that means if I think negative thoughts, then I'll attract negative things and I'll be negative. If I think positive things, I'll attract positive things. Therefore, that's because my belief, and again, science is starting to back me up here, that the human brain emits a frequency when you think. So the thoughts that you have actually affect what you attract. And everything, a frequency aligns to frequency. It's like you could imagine a magnet, right? You got North and South Pole, they're opposites. They detract. So if you've got a super positive mindset, as one example, you literally expel negativity. So that's one side of it, but I'm starting to get into the frequency now. So frequency is the key to the universe. It interlocks everything. Now, nature's audible frequency is 432 hertz. Did you know that?
No.
So 432 hertz is nature's audible frequency. So when you go out in the garden and you hear, like, I've got a robin. He's called Robin, and he lives in the hedge in the back of my garden, and he's Santa's little helper, and he keeps an eye on my kids and he keeps them straight, and I absolutely adore him. And when I appear, he actually comes out to see me. Anyway, when that robin sings, oh my God, like I literally hear the most beautiful bird song, but that's 432 hertz of frequency.
I didn't know that.
Right? And we absorb frequency. In 1939, it was decided by commission in the States and in America, who were the powerhouses at the time, that in order to synchronize sound more efficiently for tuning purposes, if you could imagine what music was like at that time, it was very orchestral, very bands. They decided to change the frequency hertz at which everything got recorded. So there became, I should say, a new set standard of recording frequency, and it was reset at 440 hertz.
Okay.
Now, 440 hertz is great for recording and synchronizing anomalies within sound, but it's not a natural sound of frequency. So since 1939, we have basically been washed, be it on the internet, be it our TVs, be it the music that we listen to, the car radio on the way to work, whatever it is, whatever's been recorded and played back has been played back on 440 hertz.
Instead of
432. Now, there's a difference. It's only slightly out, but it's a difference. And what I've discovered recently is that there are a small group of people out there that have twigged this, and science will back it up, where they've started to record audible things in 432 hertz. Research it. What I now do before I go to bed, and you walked in earlier and went, there's a nice vibe.
I was like, there's a good vibe in here.
You got the tunes on? Yeah. What Adriana didn't know is that I was playing sounds and music that were recorded in 432 hertz.
Interesting. I did not know that.
It is. So what I've been doing is when I go to bed at the end of the day, before I go to sleep, I've got a hi-fi set up in my bedroom because I'm a bit of a hi-fi nerd. What can I say? But like I start to listen to 432 hertz music and sounds now. And what it does is it recalibrates you.
Interesting.
Because at 440 throughout the day, you get a slight fuzz on your vibration.
You're like on the edge.
Your off frequency is actually what's going on. but this is a chance to just recalibrate before you go to sleep.
Interesting.
And you could even start your day that way. Listen, you're not going to be able to avoid 440 hertz because it is the industry norm now in everywhere we go. But certainly to end your day as a recommendation and something new to you, research it, whether you listen to things on Spotify, whether you listen to it, Apple Music, whatever it is, search for something that you can listen to in that window of calm before you go asleep, or if you want to sit and have some chill time after work at the end of the day, but listen to something in 432 hertz, and I guarantee you will feel deeply relaxed and absolutely chilled. And I promise you, it will help recalibrate you so that you're at your optimum frequency. And then if you apply that with positive thoughts, you're a beacon for success. And
that's awesome.
Yeah. Boom. So that's my something new for you guys. Check it out and research it. Unbelievable.
We're literally right on the money.
Check that out. We're listening to 432 hertz music, and then we finish bang on time. So I think
with a fly flying around us, with me being sick, could barely talk, we are here. We don't care.
Love it.
We deliver live, and we just bring ourselves, and we're here to entertain, bring new stuff, make you laugh, make you think, make you ponder, and hopefully you enjoyed tonight's little session.
Thank you so much for listening, guys. You can hear us again next Thursday, live at 8 p.m.
Do we do maybe something Christmassy next week? What do you reckon? Like, what should we cover next week? Do you ladies and gents have any ideas?
It's a good shout. We did ask for some suggestions last week, and we didn't get
festive.
any. I think you're feeling a bit shy.
Yeah.
So don't be shy. Think of some topics we could cover, because I tell you what, we might surprise you and cover it. So do come back with some suggestions and some asks, and we'll see what we can do.
I'll get my Christmas jumper sorted for next week.
Yeah, I probably won't wear mine, but like, hey ho, I'll wear something else.
We'll alternate Christmas.
Yeah, that's fine. Only half a screen of Christmas is probably enough. That's the pendulum in the middle, by the way. So yeah, excellent. Thank you so much. So if you're watching this on YouTube, please click the like button and subscribe to us, and click the bell notification so you can be notified when we go live again. Thank you so much. If you're listening to this on Spotify, you can find us on our YouTube channel, TMI Thursdays. And if you're watching this on YouTube and you'd like to listen to us in the car, then you can find us on Spotify at TMI Thursdays as well. And you can find us on Instagram at TMI Thursday. So we're very easy to find, people, very easy to interact with, and we encourage that as much as possible. But it's been fun. Absolutely loved it. And I'd like to say thank you and goodbye from your co-host, James Howard.
And Adriana Morvayova.
Thank you so much, people. Peace and love.